Hey, sweet soul. Thank you so much for being a part of the Conscious Lifestyle Coaching channel. Thank you for being a part of this journey of self development, healing, and spirituality. So, whether you're watching now or later, it gives you gratitude. And I pray this message offers you some peace and clarity to your situation, however it resonates. And my name is Raileigh. I'm an author, poet, speaker, and healer. Hello, if you're listening, let me know who you are and how this message might be resonating with you at this time. Feel free to ask questions in the chat and be a part of this conversation. Hello, welcome. If it's your first time, and this is an open discussion, so feel free to ask anything and share your comments. If you're resonating with this message, this is some heavy and some deep energy. If you came into the channel from the one video that went viral of you are a spiritual leader for humanity, well, if you're truly entering that call in 2025, you're going to have to talk about some dark things sometimes as you are being called to uplift people's spirit out of darkness. And so if you're on that path with me, we experience some darkness. And a part of being the teacher in that is that you share your story. Now, what comes to mind when I talk about escaping sex and money, that seems pretty dark. We think of the movies, right? And this message was inspired not only of things that, I'm grieving and moving through in my own life, but kind of what's the rhetoric going on in mainstream media and news. There is this fear going around, at least where I'm residing, of human trafficking, right? And when you think of this idea of escapism and the idea of slavery, we go to the movies, right, of physical violence and this idea of, you're being kidnapped and there's a savior who's going to come and get you. And, typical movies someone might think of is, was a movie with Liam Neeson in it, right, where it's kind of a glorification of this savior mindset. But if you're truly resonating with my journey and the story, we're understanding that we're taking accountability for our lives and for ourselves and the situations that we are in now. Taken, yes, that's the movie, right? In a way, it kind of glorifies the father in a way. But if you're someone who is in true, like sex slavery or money, and we're going to talk about the different dimensions of that. I'm not just talking about the movie dramatization of sex slavery or slavery that our ancestors have experienced. I'm talking about today, psychologically. How are we enslaved still by social paradigms and culture? I'm inspired by this notion because, again, we're taking accountability in the ways that we are kind of enslaving ourselves and our mind to these ideas, right? It's okay if you're in a situation right now that you're not comfortable in, but we're going to address consciously and psychologically today what that might look like without glorifying someone coming to come save us. Because again, if you're in a position where you feel you're being enslaved to something, you are not in control. You have given up some type of self-authority. Your soul is dim. You are unhappy. You're not okay right now. You've lost that self-autonomy. Well, that means you're probably someone who doesn't have someone who's waiting for you or gonna be able to come and save you. This is a moment in your life, if you're listening, or if you're just kind of listening to the story happening today, what is it that you need to walk yourself out of? Don't let the rhetoric in the mind of telling you that you need to wait for someone to come save you. I'm not telling you to give up faith, right? For coming from religion, we believe in Jesus as the ultimate savior, and he is real. He has saved me many, many times, of course. But Jesus also awakens us within, the divine masculine within us. It's going to take ourselves out of the predicament. So if you're listening, let me know how this message might resonate. This message also came to me being that my fiance, my partner, is a school teacher, and there's this app called OnlyFans, right? And I know that there's young women out here who are making money based off sexual images of themselves. And I want to talk about the naivety that happens no matter how old you are. Where we feel when we're in a desperate situation, the only way we're going to be able to provide for ourselves or survive something is if we sell a part of ourselves we really don't want to. So this can apply to someone who's working a 6-salary job and you don't really want to do it, but you're sacrificing your health at this time. You've enslaved a part of your soul's joy in order to receive something. And that is still a psychological slavery that many people are experiencing. Most people, even in America, a lot of people watch me who are not in America. Listen, most people here are experiencing some type of poverty, whether that's in spirit or financial. There's nowhere on earth that people are more truly elevated. There is a psychological and a soul slavery that is happening, and it comes into our awareness when we feel that we are imprisoned to something or to somebody. So if you're watching and you feel like you can't escape something or get out of somewhere, even if it's just in your mind, if it's a job or you're in school and you're really, really sick right now, but you feel like you have to finish, and the world's telling you you're going to be nobody unless you finish. And you're saying, hey, I might not make it. I might not make it to the other side. I'm here to remind you of your power today and your empowerment that you can reclaim for yourself. First, by being aware of in what ways are you selling yourself. Someone says, we cast the spell of our own slavery via psychological programming. It's a clever trick. It is a clever trick. Talking about first escapism. What does that even mean? If you resonate with that vibration, that means you have an urge within you to fight or to flee for something. That's most of us. Experiencing something in our life that we feel is chasing us. So what is the enemy of the psyche that's happening in your life? That it could be very much rooted in relationships or career, which is why I resonated and put out in the title today, sex and money, because that is the root desire of most people. So if that is truly someone's root desire, if that is what you're feeling like you need or is in control of your life, whether that's just relationships that don't really make you happy, but it's providing you something, that is still a fleshy desire that is not in the soul. We can be psychologically entrapped by a relationship that we're codependent on because we don't want to be alone, or we feel we are alone. And many of us, if you're on the spiritual path, you are alone. And so it puts us in a vulnerability of predation of people who reap the benefit of your isolation. Your psychological need, it's a human need to feel that you are loved, to be comforted and supported. And so many people on the earth, when you've been isolated and you're on the spiritual path and you're receiving a vision and a soul guidance and you're asking questions about life, you're discovering who God is within you. And that puts you in a vulnerable place in your life. Because people around you might not understand. You're changing rapidly. And so you're walking off the path, or you're leaving the community or your family, and you're just open. And it's a beautiful time. If you study tarot, it's the Fool card, right? It's, I am so open to God's deliverance in my life, and just, right? That's a very beautiful place to be in our life. It's also the most vulnerable. So if you're looking for love, or if you're looking for more money, I'm speaking to you. Again, it doesn't have to be the drama of the movie in the mind. But if someone is in that circumstance, this message is for you too. So this idea of escapism, having a spiritual awakening, means everything in your life is about to shift, and you're walking on this path alone. And so you need a type of protection around you. You have to have a vision of where you're going. But it's in that vulnerable state that people can prey on you. If you have been a victim of someone abusing you or manipulating where you are in life, this message is for you. And we're going to heal the consciousness and the mindset of being a victim. As a soul, we come here and we have these experiences, and we're opening and transitioning in life. And again, yes, we become vulnerable in the psyche to something is going to happen. And when we are in desperate need of the next step to manifest quickly, that is the first sign you're putting yourself in danger. Anytime you feel desperate or a void for something in your life to come in, then you're allowing anything to come in. And then the next practice is discerning what is it truly that is God. And when we experience the abuse and manipulation by the world, by society, by people, And that is where people can get stuck for many, many years. Doesn't matter how old you are listening. We get stuck in the psyche of what has happened to us that has truly harmed us. We're bringing honor to what that is. It has happened. It happens to all of us. Where we experience something so traumatic, it freezes us in time. We cannot move from it. We cannot move on from it until there's a hope that reoccurs. So when we think of the movies and the dramatization of escaping the sex and money type of slavery, there's a savior comes in that provides hope. Oh, I'm going to be freed from this at some point, and it's true. So if you're in a situation where you feel imprisoned or stuck and out of control, first you have to seed in your psyche today, there's hope coming. Most people are there. They have some type of hope. The next step is faith. So moving out of escapism of you're not running away from something because you're weak, you're running towards something that you have faith is the ultimate destiny. It is truly God waiting for you. So what is that? That you're walking towards. You don't have to run away. Escapism doesn't mean you're running away. You're not weak. You're not a victim. Something has happened to you, yes. But your soul is guiding you to something extremely powerful at this time if you're resonating with this idea of having to escape something to save your life. And I speak with true urgency here because if you're on the spiritual path with me and you're transitioning into 2025 and you're still holding on to something that you feel imprisoned by, now is the prime time. Stephen says 11:11, right? Spiritual awakening. You have clarity of the ways that you are imprisoning yourself. You're aware, you can see it. Even if you are in chains right now, actual chains in someone's basement, you're aware. You can see. And so you're studying the ways of your light, your hope. That is what our brain, our ego is for. It is meant to survive. You are a survivor. And I'm speaking to people who are tired of surviving, and I get it. And I'm here to tell you that the next strategy in the spiritual dimension where we're traveling now is not about fighting anything or spiritual warfare. It's about peace. The more calm and peaceful you can be, even in chains right now, whatever that means and how that resonates to you, if you can reclaim your peace, that is when an opportunity will be presented. Tea Time Beauty asks, is there a way to strengthen my self-worth through self-study? Yes. So I'm speaking to the psyche of someone right now who's resonating with the shame that comes with not having enough money or not having the relationship you really desire. I think all of us can meet on that journey at some point, however that resonates. We feel like there is not enough of something and we tie it to our worth, we tie it to ourself. If I don't have enough money in my bank account, I am a poor person and I am not contributing enough to society. If I don't have the relationship of my dreams, I must be ugly. Something's wrong with me. Something is seriously wrong with me. And so Tea Time Beauty asks, how do I self-study? Self-study me being, again, your ability to reclaim your peace right now in your adversity, in the chains you are in. Is there peace here still? Can you find a moment to be mindfully present and just observe, I am in this situation, yes. I'm very unhappy with it. It is very harmful to me. Okay, if you have awareness, that means you have a key. There's a door open. You will not see the door that is open for you unless you can allow the ease of the presence of love. And what is love? I define love as that beautiful divine relationship you have with the divine within you. It's speaking to you. It is you, and it's connected to other people. Studying the love within that, since the day you were born, there's been something that has kept you alive, that's been guiding you. It's a whisper almost. It's a voice you recognize sometimes in your most crisis moments of your life. There was a voice that came in. Maybe it was in someone else, but you always recognize that voice. It's a very loving voice. Sometimes it comes out of your own mouth. And you're like, that's not me. That person, I don't know how I said what I said, or I wrote what I wrote, or I sang what I sang, or how I built this thing. I don't know. It was something within me, and it was love that came outside of me. It was cosmic. It was out of this world. It was extraordinary. There's a vibration. And sometimes we allow it to dim. When there's too many difficult things and dense vibrations and evil and harm that we're perceiving. And so the more we allow ourselves to perceive it, we absorb it. We absorb the evil and the harm. And then therefore that's what we see. That's our experience. So there's a study, there's a look, there's an awareness of the key in that little flame right now of love. And the more you study that and look there, that flame of love within, it's going to amplify. And you're going to, if you study fire, then you know if you blow in fire, it expands. So you have to give life into that little flame of love, which is that hope and in that inspiration. It's going to walk you into something right now. There's a key that you have, and it's your love. It's the love that you know, and you're going to continue to remember more and more every day of how much the divine loves you. Stephen says, no resistance, no fear, acceptance. If you find yourself, you find you never really existed. And when you are empty, the divine can fill you. Yeah. So if you're listening now or later, let me know who you are, where you're listening in from. This is a deep message because I want you to remember your key right now. And I want us to all look at the ways in which we are enslaving ourselves. Sex and money, it's the root of a lot of evil happening. And it's the ways that we get manipulated, we allow people to manipulate us with. And it's a naivety within the psyche that allows it to happen so we can empower ourselves and be moving into the dimension of the key that we can unlock in the universe. That's a blessing and a medicine and a prayer for someone else. So, deep breath if you're still listening. Tea Time said self-study. So if we're watching now or later, let's do a little bit more of that. Let's look at why this message might be resonating with you at this time. How did we get here? And again, it started with that fool who had love in their heart, and you're trying to explore a new dimension of your life. Everyone's going to walk at some point. It's a natural path of the human to get tired of a situation, and that situation for you can mean your life is on the line. It can mean you're on the verge of homelessness, that you're starving right now. There's something you're starving for if you're in this situation of needing to escape something that is enslaving you, your soul, your mind. If you don't feel that you are in control of your body, you're enslaving yourself to something. And I say this to bring divine awareness so that you can walk out of it. So again, we're going to return back to how this journey began. You had a hope in your heart. You started walking the path. You know there's a new story for you and a new life. So you're willing to walk into the wilderness to get there. You're willing to put everything on the line for a better life. And so you give some things up that you know you need to let go of. And you hear God clearly saying, let it go. There's more for you. But there's a journey that you're going to have to take to get there. When you're walking that journey, it's a sacred path. It's a path of soul evolution. No matter where that journey began, people will see that change within you, and it will scare them. Whether they know you or not, they see something divine that is about to be birthed through you. And maybe they feel it, maybe consciously, subconsciously, they know it's happening, but they don't have that call yet. They're not receiving that. So why should you? So that's why I'm saying it's a vulnerable path. And so you took the journey, you opened the door, you let it all go, and you were alone maybe, whether that's psychologically, emotionally, mentally, or physically. And people saw that light within you. Maybe it's a light you're still trying to fully understand what that is. But other people saw it before you could see it. And that is why people manipulate. That is why people ensnarl and trap you into things, because they want what you have before you even know you have it. And that is when our self-worth is so important. That is when our self-awareness is so important. This is why self-love is so important, because that self-love that we emanate from within, that radiates, it provides a shield of protection. It provides us awareness of who we really are. And when we know who we are, we can prevent other people from manipulating us and harming us and using us. Because if you don't know who you are, you're trying to figure it out. And that is why you experiment in things and you take the wrong road, you go off the path. Maybe it's this. And so the beautiful soul within you, again, is trying to grow. And that beautiful soul experiences trauma in that process, because it is traumatic to be birthed into something, into the truth of who you are. It is a traumatic experience. It is in the trauma and the pain that we are birthed into who we were always meant to become. And so the enemies along the way want to stop you from becoming the divine soul that you are. Sometimes people are not even conscious of how they're hurting you, and that is the most dangerous predator. They don't even know they're a predator. They don't know they're an abuser. And we allow them in because there is a resonance, right? You and that perceived enemy are trying to figure out, who am I? What's going on here? And you travel together. But there's no alignment of soul. There's a question of discovery meant to happen. And that's exactly what happens. Because the soul hasn't been breathed into yet. And it takes a spark. It takes sometimes a traumatic event for that clarity to come. I'm not saying run into trauma purposely. I'm saying if you're feeling like you're in trauma now, but to escape it, it's going to be some fire in it. Tea Time says, my 3D world is giving me a run for my money. My spirit is like, keep going. My faith has got me this far. It takes so much courage to be vulnerable and detach from relationships that are draining her. Or him. I can't see. Sorry. So focusing again on this idea of the intimate desire to be seen and valued and heard, to reclaim our self-worth, it's going to come through relationships. And the most superficial need in relationships is that physical touch. It's the comfort. It's a hug. It's a kiss. It's sex for most people. And then you get a soul tie. A soul tie that is not meant to last. It cannot last, because a soul tie doesn't mean there's love there. It means there's an entanglement happening that both parties have agreed to for some reason, for some type of evolution. And that evolution can be good or it can be bad. But either way, the divine God's going to use it. Use that experience that you went through where the relationship didn't work out. Maybe it really harmed you. Maybe it abused you. That person, that abuser, that manipulator, the liar, the cheater, the thief was your teacher, was your guide to point you back in the direction of your soul. And so thank you, soul ties. It is easy to be manipulated by our body's natural need for that physical comfort. And so if you're on the journey of love right now, don't listen to the body, listen to your soul. And this is why we're on the conscious living path, right? It's not about the sex or the money. You have to detach from all of that. You have to not care about needing someone in your life. You have to not care about getting money. How is that even possible? It seems impossible. So you come back to peace. That is the key of the unlocking of your imprisonment in the mind or in your real world right now? Peace. Can you be at peace in your singleness or in a relationship that you don't want to be in? Can you be at peace in working the job that you hate that's harming your body? Can you find the peace now, and it will open a door? So we're going to talk about money too. Let's talk about career. And hello to you. If you're listening, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know who you are, where you're listening in from, and how this message might resonate. This is a conversation. I welcome you. It's a deep one, it's a heavy one, but it's for somebody. So let's talk about career. Let's talk about money and how psychologically, consciously, you might be enslaved in that space. Many people are. Whether if you're in a capitalistic society, then you're birthed into the ideology that money is the most important. You have to be working hard to achieve the success, and anyone can make it. It doesn't matter what your situation is. No excuse, no tears. Work hard and you'll be fine. And it's in that space that working hard towards something that doesn't fruit into the spiritual desire that you want, the soul path, the path of peace in your soul, means it's not about money. It will never be about money. And the faster that you can accept this, whoever's listening now or later, that money will not gift you fulfillment, the sooner you'll be free of whatever it is you feel you need to escape from right now. I know it's obvious to some people, money will not buy happiness, but it's still something we always return to. At every quarter, the enemy, the devil, however you perceive it, is around the corner saying, hey, you're going to make a bunch of money here if you sell your soul a little bit, if you sacrifice your happiness, your peace, if you let go of this thing that it gives you some peace and clarity and empowerment in your life, but it just give me a little bit of it and I'll give you a lot of money. And it'll be for a couple years. Just work really hard for a couple years. You might get broken down in your body a little bit, but you'll be rich, and then you can go on vacation and you'll have all the health insurance you need. And then you end up chasing something that will never fruit. You might not even make it there. That's the trap. That's the sacrifice when we chase money. Some people live and die by this. It is about the money. It is about the fight. They love it. But it's not love. It's an addiction. Some people are addicted to the fight, into the warfare. And that is what they are imprisoned by. In my journey, and whoever's listening, how many times have we been there? We walk away from something we know is not in our soul alignment. It's not our soul path. It's not what that voice of love within us is whispering. Hey, this is who you are. This is what I asked you to do on earth. It's going to raise consciousness on the planet. And you're going to be in your soul gifts, and it's going to be so easy and natural to you. It's going to bring challenges, but it's going to be the most rewarding path of your soul. And you're saying, no, I'm going to ignore that because it's too hard. It's not giving me a reward right away. You have to let go of the dopamine reward. It's a system that is tearing people apart. So many people get on YouTube or online and they have this intention and the vision in their heart to grow a business, and you get addicted to the numbers. People post things just for the numbers. I don't post messages to feed someone's ego. I could do it every day. I could say, hey, you're going to be a millionaire. Your twin flame, your wife is about to call you. I could lie to you for views. You could do that. People pay you a bunch of money to feed their ego and hope that won't fruit. And that's how you destroy people. And that is when we feel destroyed by life. So there's an authenticity that needs to happen in the way you receive income. You can work hard and love what you do. Actually, that is going to be the path. You're going to work. We're here to work. We're here to do something divine. And so there's a holiness in any type of worker, whether you work in sanitation, you're a farmer, you work in the death industry. It doesn't have to be pretty. It has to be something your soul wants to do. Because it is the soul fulfillment that will bring the prosperity. And prosperity looks different from other people. Don't get attached to money as in cash dollar. That is very clearly shifting, right? We talk about cryptocurrency. What about the currency and the wealth of your mental peace? Health in your body, having access to community, people who honor you and see you and love you without wanting you to sacrifice anything. Addiction to peace. Yes, get addicted to peace. You can't get addicted to peace. You can't even get addicted to a real type of love, because it is what you are. You are peace. You are love. You are naturally abundant. You are already that. So it is an unraveling of the things that we attach to and give our power away in a hope and a promise that will never be fulfilled, because it is not honoring our innate nature. So go try and get addicted to peace, please. What is peace? I believe peace is a very trusting energy. It means even if you are in chains right now, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you know you're going to get out. You have to. You're a divine being. You're a divine being. You can't be trapped. You are not even trapped with this body, so that should tell you right away. It's inevitable that you will leave the situation you are in if it is not honoring the soul. It's not honoring God's purpose in your life. You will leave. It cannot last forever unless you choose to be there. You're choosing unconsciously, consciously, or sometimes as a soul, you chose to be born with whatever you're suffering from. Some people are born with very difficult ailments and diseases and disabilities, but they're still an empowered soul. I cannot see them as a victim. I see them as a teacher, one of the greatest teachers on planet Earth. Thank you so much for being here, for listening. Let me know who you are, how this message might resonate to you. Just thank you for being on this journey with me. I know this is an intense message, but this is January 2025. This is a portal. This is a window right now for you to release yourself from attachments to the things that you think you are without, and to honor your soul's journey. All right, someone asked about weed. Weed is a sacred medicine. I did a message on this. I also talked about nicotine and alcohol in that message. You can check it out. I believe the spirit of marijuana it's a feminine healing meant for grief. It helps you accept where you are in life. So if people are in deep grief or deep pain and suffering, using the spirit of marijuana can help uplift and come to an acceptance. It's a heart medicine. But eventually, when you're ready to release the grief and even acceptance and move into a spiritual enlightenment and genuine joy in your life, like if you're ready to feel that, some people are not ready. Life has been too traumatic for a long time. But you're that little flame we were talking about, that whisper of the divine within you, the voice of God is going to say, maybe you should stop. Maybe you're ready to let me go. Maybe you don't need me anymore. And people kind of struggle in that cycle of, I need this substance, I need this. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to give it up. And then you go back to it. And maybe that's your journey. For me personally, I want to be a mother, so I'm not smoking. I am grieving, but I'm learning to feel my grief because it gives me a powerful message. I'm turning my grief into books, into writing, to working with clients who are in deep suffering. I'm allowing myself to feel, because if you receive joy, if you're coming out of the vibration of just acceptance into a joy and spiritual enlightenment, and you're learning to study what is God in me, through me, it takes a bravery to accept the ways we are in separation of God, to look at all the ways we've been not only harmed, but we have are harming others. It's hard to have that type of awareness and that type of feeling. Without the spirit of marijuana in my body, calming me and mothering me, I'm a highly emotional being. I fluctuate, but it's okay. I need this because it allows me to produce something that I want people to receive from. I alchemize it. So if that's you, if you're ready to maybe experience a natural type of joy in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, then you have to be sober. Be a clear channel, an open vessel. It takes bravery and it's not easy. Most people are numbing. It's easy to do that. It is not easy to feel the full experience of being human. And sometimes the pain is too much. It's actually better if you use a medicine. So know where you are in your journey. And I can't tell you weed is evil. I'm not going to ever say that. I don't think any natural medicine is bad for you. But if spirit's telling you, hey, it's time to stop, take the journey for a little bit and see what happens. So Stephen says addiction is just addiction to the struggle of slavery. Yeah. And I'm sorry to use triggering words like slavery, but I live in the South and I see the slavery of consciousness still very much real. People here, I think it's everywhere. People don't know they're racist anymore because racism isn't looking like people getting beat in actually chained and put into labor force. But that is still very much a thing, right? You're in labor slavery if you're working a job that doesn't provide you safety. That is slavery. If you are putting your health at risk every day to receive $1, that is slavery. Unconscious consumerism is promoting that type of slavery. People don't know they're doing that. And so I created this channel, Conscious Lifestyle Coaching, for many, many reasons, addressing mental health, addressing suicidal ideation, also addressing the ways we harm other human beings without being consciously aware. So conscious slavery is still here. If we're not conscious of how our thoughts and our beliefs and our faith is missing or lacking or not being nourished, we hurt people, we harm people. So I honor you, whoever's listening now or later, for being on this journey with me. It is not easy to truly look at ourselves, look in the mirror and say, this has to change. I need to change this. And so we take accountability. That's the hard part too, and that's why life coaching is an industry, it's a thing. And I'm honored to be a life coach, to say, yeah, we're gonna take accountability for this, but it's okay, you're not alone in that. I've been addicted to things. I've made bad choices in relationships I shouldn't have done. I've sacrificed my soul for things, caring more about money than what God wanted me to do. I haven't been emotionally responsible. I've hurt people with the things I've said. But we forgive and we get better. So I thank you for being on this journey with me as a conscious leader in this dimension. And not letting things just not change and be stagnant. If you're listening, let me know who you are. Don't be shy. Yeah, racism is an ignorance. Saying I don't care what people think or feel. And they're saying because I don't care about anything. I don't even care about myself. I don't feel anything. Who? That is a paradigm that is devoid of spirit. That's scary. So if you're on this journey, you want to do what I do, and you're a spiritual guide yourself, I promise you, people need you. They don't even know they need you yet. That's where we're at. People don't even know they need spiritual guidance yet. And so please join me in this dimension of letting people know and bring awareness to what is spiritual health. What does it mean to actually remember there's divine purpose on our life? That each of our lives matter and have meaning. This life is supposed to be a sacred walk. It's a dance. It's an adventure. It's a journey. It's painful at times, yes, but we find beauty in that. And they don't want to hear that because it's not comfortable. It's more cozy to sit in a pew and be talked at instead of to be the speaker. Someone says, yes, civilization itself was created to house slaves. Yes, so I'm moving out of a slave master consciousness. It's rooted in religion. We talk about God as a master. Okay, I'm in the dimension of my consciousness where I've said, Jesus is my brother. One day I'll say, Jesus is my son. I'll see Jesus in every masculine in my life. There's things that you're here to master yourself and to teach that I can't. Everyone else around you hasn't experienced something in your soul that you are a divine teacher of. That is what the Ascended Masters have taught us, right? You can do this work. You're supposed to be doing this work. You have to free yourself of these addictions to being enslaved by the human body in the psychological need of surviving. Move beyond that. And it's time. Someone says, I want to be sober. Someone says, the reason is I'm not ready. But you're listening to me now, and I'm saying I am as sober as can be. And it's been a journey for me. But we're resonating on this frequency. Why? Maybe you're ready. And be kind in your journey of sobriety too. Be kind with your brain. When we are addicted to anything, it could be a relationship, it could be television, it could be drugs. Be kind to your brain chemistry. If you just cold turkey it, sometimes it hurts you. I know a lot of people, men especially, they're just like, I can just give it up. And then your brain suffers and you put yourself in harm's way. Have a strategy to your healing. And that is what life coaches are for. I am an advocate for therapy, recovery, support groups. Don't be ashamed. Everyone has been addicted to something. Everybody. Oh, back to the message about sex slavery too. Porn. If y'all are watching porn and you're on the spiritual path, question it. Look at it. Why? Why are you watching porn? Wouldn't you rather have a real relationship with somebody? And if you are in the pursuit of relationship or community, that means you have to be real. You can't live in the virtual world all the time. To build authentic relationships, you have to speak. People are afraid to speak to each other. And if you're wanting to build authentic relationships, that means you're going to have to pray and meditate. And again, I'm not coming from religion. Praying means have a conversation with God. Who am I? What do you need me to do? And how do I do it? And show me the way. Hello from Seattle. Hello from South Africa. Hello, friends who've been watching for a while. And feel free to ask questions. I see a question if I believe in Jesus. Yes, I've said I do believe in Jesus, but I do not spend all my time just worshiping Jesus. I'm honoring the soul path I am on as a spiritual teacher. And so the Spirit of Jesus tells me to live in my own divinity. Don't focus just on worshiping the grief and what has happened to Jesus. If you're alive in this world, address the consciousness of people who are still doing things that harm Jesus. They're still doing it. We're still doing it. So religion I honor it as something people need. I have needed a religious community. I've been in many churches. I have prayed to Jesus. I've asked Jesus to save me over and over, and he always shows up. But I don't promote all my videos about Jesus because it takes away from the Holy Spirit as a feminine energy of diving into the mystery and the courage of what it takes to step into the unknown and unleash yourself. And that is my own relationship and prayer with Jesus and with God. Thank you for your transparency and vulnerability here. Love and blessings to all of you. If you're addicted to struggling, that means you need to build a relationship with peace. I'm going to keep reminding you. What is peace? What does it look like? Study it. Read about it. There's so many beautiful books that are not just the Holy Bible or the Holy Scriptures. Read them. I'm reading them. I will always be reading them. I will always return to them. But there are many teachers. Maybe I should provide a list of books I've read. Study peace. If you don't know what peace is, what that looks like in your life, study it. Read about it. And then ultimately you'll build a voice of peace within yourself. And you'll recognize that peace in other people. And then in that peace you take action that is more aligned again with the divine in your life. And I pray freedom for you today from porn addiction. It's a journey to take, to stop watching. It's going to bring more true relationships into your life. Like true human touch, true love in another human being. But if you're focusing your energy on false illusions of what love and sexuality is, you're going to keep blocking yourself. You want the real thing. If you want the real thing, take the journey. And it's not a sacrifice. I talk about sacrifice. I believe in compromise more so. You're compromising with God, saying, okay, I'm gonna let go of this addiction because I know you have something better for me, God. Thank you. God, the divine, the Holy Spirit, source, doesn't ask us to sacrifice anything but our own fear. And so if you're in pain from having to let something go that you know is going to give you more divine and you don't want to let it go, it's because you're still afraid God's not really going to deliver you through yourself. But you have to make the choices. And please don't be ashamed if you have an addiction to porn. I had an addiction. I don't know if it was an addiction, but I was watching porn at such a young age. Most people are. Kids that have access to the internet, of course they're going to find it. But I didn't know what I was doing, and sometimes we don't know. It's because it's so normalized. Just as being drunk in public is so normal and so socially accepted. So you have to, again, escape from this psychological slavery of putting sex and money first. That is where most people are. But if you're watching, you're still on this journey with me, you're free. You're a free spirit. Umed says, you often hear folks talk about the pitfalls of quitting anything. Can I speak on the unexpected benefits of sobriety, if any? I believe in true clarity. And again, I was saying, use the medicines you're being guided to use. The earth gives us medicine for a reason. Use them. But when the voice of your soul says, all right, it's enough here, you're healed, you don't need this anymore, how long is it going to take for you to give it up? And that's going to show you how rooted you are in the addiction. And then you have to question, if you can't let an addiction go, even though you have a desire to, how much have you lost your own mind? And that's where it gets scary. Do you not have control of your mind anymore? And if you don't have control over your mind, you likely don't have control over their physical reality either. So then you're really enslaved to something that started with a harmless behavior that was socially acceptable, everyone's doing it, And now you don't even have control of your own consciousness. So it's time to wake up. And you're saying probably it's time to wake up. You're asking the question. But you're still trying to validate using it. And I'm saying it's normal to be addicted. It is not normal to lose control over your own actions. Peace, love, and prosperity, health and wellness to you, Derek. Thank you. As someone says, they lost their job and access to money because the flesh is weak. Everyone's flesh is weak. It doesn't take much to be cut and to bleed. Why? As conscious, alive, breathing beings on earth, we choose this vessel of literal skin that is so fleshy. Other animals have shells and fur and coats, and we're exposed to the elements because the power is not in the body, it's in the spirit. And I believe maybe we chose this type of emanation of God, of the divine, of spirit on purpose, to be reminded when we experience pain, we detach from this physical body because we know it wastes away. We know we're only here for a certain amount of time. So we have to remember, what is spirit? What is God? Who am I? Where do I come from? What am I here to do? And just do that. So it's okay. Yes, the human body is meant to be weak. That is why until the day I die, I'm going to keep coming on here and giving messages about how to free yourself and escape whatever addictions or imprisonment to the chase of sex and money. It's never going to end. The human brain, that's what it does. That's what it wants. It wants to be fed. It wants to be comforted. It wants to feel like it belongs. It wants to survive. In the conscious study, you're moving beyond the primary need of just survival. You move on the primary need of survival by walking in purpose, divine purpose, where you're not struggling to survive paycheck to paycheck anymore, or bouncing from terrible relationship to terrible relationship because you're at peace with yourself. You don't need so much. You're not letting the pursuit of money or relationships control you anymore. Like, God is truly enough for you and what you want to serve. And then in that moment of detachment, boom, divine relationships, divine inheritance. Because you're working for heaven, you're living in heaven on earth. And that is where we're all going, and we're going to pitfall, yeah. We're acknowledging we're human. There's going to be temptation around the corner, always. That's its job, to test us so we get stronger. So let's thank God for the test. For the moments when we are imprisoned and trapped by something, by somebody. And then when we break free, we are a new person. So the imprisonment, the slavery, the suffering make us who we are in the eyes of God. So I'm wrapping up. We'll end by 1 o'clock. So any final comments, let me know who you are in the chat below. An hour later, thank you for listening so far. Again, thank you. I know this is an intense message. I'm not speaking to the ego here. If you're walking the journey of vision, of soul path, you will receive everything you need, your heart's desire, if it comes from a pure intention. If it's truly going to help you serve your spiritual gifts on this earth, you will receive it. It will come in time. But find fulfillment, find satisfaction in working and living with the divine path. And that is what I'm here to help awaken and walk with you as a conscious lifestyle coach. This is what I do. I help entrepreneurs, visionaries, and change makers get from where they are to where they want to be with meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. So check out the website, consciouslifestylecoaching.com, or purchase the books. Explore the journey with me, and I'm here for you. You let me know. If you want to meet one-on-one, submit the application, consciouslifestylecoaching.com, and we get a free 45-minute call together, just face-to-face. And if you watch the Medicine Garden recordings, come on in, meet other people who are journeying with you so you guys can have a conversation with each other. And the Medicine Garden is a free live Google Meet on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You need to email me to RSVP, and I'll add you to the link. And we have a WhatsApp group as well. Yeah, peace to you all. Thank you for listening with me in this hour. Releasing the need for validation, tea time, in romantic relationships. Being sexualized since a kid. I honor that. I received that. Releasing validation. You stop caring what people think. You stop caring what people think, and you move forward with what you know you need to do. Because it's a holy vision, it's a holy desire. And if you're doing that, there's nothing greater that can come out except the inner peace again. It's that simple, and I'm sorry to reiterate it. Letting go of the care of what people think about you, as long as you are walking out the divine path for you as you know God to be. As you know God to be. Which is love. The greatest love that you feel as an experience in your life. You're validating that. So anything that you do outside of that, it's not going to fruit to you or give back to you validation or growth or empowerment. But you're not going to care when that does happen. Because the people who dishonor you in your soul path, the most sacred path you're walking, if people dishonor that, that's not your person. Your people, your person will see exactly who you are, and they're also walking their own soul mission and soul path, and is very close, very in alignment with yours. And so there's peace that comes every day because of the union, because of the partnership. If there is not peace, there is discord and confusion and fear, and that is how you'll know. And how many times are you going to receive more fear and chaos and confusion and discord and abuse and trauma until you turn away and you let it go? That's only for you to decide. And your tolerance of how much you're willing to withstand of abuse and not being aligned will continue to narrow and narrow and narrow until you're there. But have grace and forgiveness along the journey. Because again, any person who has harmed you is a teacher to point you back to here. Congratulations, 6 years free from drugs and alcohol. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, my friends. If I could be of service to you, please let me know. Please write to me, email me. Try to respond to everybody. It takes me about 1 to 2 weeks now. So please be patient if you've reached out or you've submitted an application. I'm getting to them. I had a 2-week vacation. And I honor everyone who's listened so far. And I hope to see you in the next live. Peace and love. Have a beautiful rest of your day or your night whenever you watch this. And see you again soon. Keep me updated on your journey. Stay free.